Hi guys, thank you for joining me and welcome to the Mum's Makery portion of the Fibre East at home weekender. So really looking forward to this. I did Fibre East last year and it was amazing, it was awesome. So hi Do, hi Erica, how you guys doing? So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about Mum's Makery for those of you who don't know the company. My name is Sam and my company is Mum's Makery, and primarily I do needle felting, kits, supplies, tools and tutorials. And what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to talk about a few things, and I've got a live sort of make for you to demonstrate. And I know that a lot of you in chat have come over from the Mum's Makery Facebook group as well. So hey guys. For those of you who don't know me, I laugh a lot at everything. So be prepared for me to crack up at a moment's notice. So what we're going to do is, you can see behind me there, I've got some stuff ready to go. And for this particular hour, what I thought I would do is come back and revisit an older template from the range, but one that I haven't actually got a tutorial for. Mum's Makery does have a YouTube channel, which is Mum's Makery, so it's youtube.com/Mum's Makery, and there are a lot of free tutorials and videos. Some of the project tutorials are all there, so it's a good way to sort of have a look at what I do and just, you know, have a look at the projects, see if you like them. There are some projects which are just for customers only, so those tutorials won't be available on the YouTube channel. However, if you do want to visit the website, there is a projects, infos and downloads link on the website, and the website is mumsmakery.co.uk. So if you visit that and you click products, infos and downloads, you will find a whole raft of information. There's a complete list of the tutorials that are publicly available. There is the weights and measures. So it's a really good sort of resource for quick reference stuff. And there's a couple of PDF downloads there as well. Okay, so as I said before, we do needle felting supplies, and generally I like to do something that's a little bit different and something that's a bit out of the box. And some of you may be thinking, why does she have Christmas decorations up in the middle of July? And there is a good reason, I promise. July in Mum's Makery, we do have a Christmas in July event, and we had our own live event. When was it? No, it wasn't last weekend. It was at the beginning of the month, and the month of July is all Christmas in July for us, and we bring out the returning projects from the Makery and we launch some new ones. And where is it? Oh, there, that tree, the Douglas Fern Winter Ombre is one of the new makes that has come out this month. And the Christmas in July, it runs all month, and there are completely bonkers things on the website, so do go check that out. There is also the live broadcast on the YouTube channel as well, so you can go back and have a look at the crazy mayhem that was that event. Right, so what I want to do is I want to hop over and sort of do some little bits of needle felting with you, and I'm going to talk you through. Those of you who have watched my tutorials, who use the products, will know a lot of the techniques that are used when felting with templates, but this will be obviously for those of you who are joining me as well for the first time. We're going to do a little bit of felting, and there is a couple of the pixies, a couple of the Makery pixies are in chat to answer any questions, because whilst I'm over there I won't see the chat. So if you've got any questions, do holler. Some questions can hopefully make their way to me, but we'll just hop over to the close-up cam and see what we can do about some felting. So this is the template that I chose for today's little broadcast, and this is the cupcake, and the cupcake has It has, to be fair, I must be honest, it hasn't got an awful lot of love on my channel because I did it and made it and then sort of moved on. So I thought, do you know what? I think despite the fact that I'm in the middle of Christmas, and to be fair, it's been Christmas in my house for about 2 months now. I thought I would come back and do something a little more summery and a little more sort of in keeping with the time of year. So we're going to make a cupcake. I've got one that I've made earlier and you can see how it sort of goes together. You've got a full size template and then we've got a frosting top that you can use as well. As I mentioned before, we use weights and measures, and for that I've got one of these little pocket scales, and what this means is this will enable you to weigh out. If you can see, that's 0.18 of a gram, and this will go down to sort of half of that, 0.1 of a gram. And when you're using templates, particularly when it's a leafy shape or a petal shape and you are trying to get consistent petals, weighing your wool or weighing your fibres does have enormous benefit, because with the template combined with weighing, you will end up with very, very consistent results. Now the weights and measures are a guide, they're not set in stone, but it's a really useful place to start. What I'm going to be using for my cupcake base is some of our sand coloured wool. And what I'm going to be using for the frosting, I'll see if I can get this to show up properly on camera, but this is a new blend that we've just launched, which is called Frost, and the camera's not doing it justice. It has, let's see if I can get a better, it has a real gorgeous sort of a shimmer to it, and that's one that we've launched for the Christmas in July extravaganza. I don't know what we're calling it now. It's been called a few things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weigh out my base layer, and if you visit the templates weights and measures page on the on the website, that gives you a weight of wool for every template that we do. The weight for this one, a good base layer, is 1 gram. So I am just going to weigh myself out about 1 gram. I'm going to be using a 40 spiral needle. Now this is quite a fine needle, but I like using, I tend to err on the side of the finer needles anyway. With the templates, the inclination can be to sort of stuff the wool in the middle and bring it to the outside, and that's a little bit counterproductive, because the best way that I have found to fill a template is to start with the outside and the edges and then backfill to the middle. I've got my needle, my 40 spiral, and I'm be working on today. Let me just do this. I've got my foam surface, then I've got my flat mat, and the flat mat is a felting surface that we sell at Mum's Makery, which we combine with our felt toppers, and the idea is that you change this topper depending on the colour wool that you are felting with, so you don't get that sort of cross-contamination of fibres. The flat mat in particular is an absolute dream, and I'm sure a few of you who are in chat have the flat mat and can give it a bit of a review for me, but it does mean that it's a real dense surface, so when your needle hits that flat mat you feel it, so you're not driving too far unless you really mean to you know, drive right into something. And what I've done is I've just put some fibres in the bottom of my template, brought it into the edge, and as you can see I'm using a real light needle, so there are a few fibres that are poking out and sticking to my surface, but it's really, really light. And that's one advantage to just using the fine needle to lay your fibres down. So I'm going to take another bit, and the idea obviously is that we just get a nice even covering. I'm overlapping the side of the template a little bit, so when I run my needle round that edge, it brings those fibres into that edge. And that way we're not going to end up with really skinny edges. And again, I'm going to come around this side. And because these templates are smoothed edged, you can really run your needle around the inside without worry. One of the questions that I do get asked quite a lot, and I'm being a bit preemptive here, is can you use cookie cutters? And the short answer is yes, you absolutely can use a cookie cutter. And they are great for certain shapes, circles, squares, anything that's basic, a cookie cutter is great for. And it's one of the reasons why you'll find that I don't really do those kinds of shapes in the templates. I do more complicated shapes, and a lot of the templates that we make are quite floral in construction. So, but cookie cutters you absolutely can use for certain things. They work absolutely fine. My go-to example for the difference between a cookie cutter and a felting template is if you were to use a holly, a cookie cutter holly, then you would end up with more of a blob shape, and you would have to spend an awful lot of time refining that shape to get, you know, that nice crisp sort of holly shape. Oh, I'm going wandering. However, the holly template that I make, the idea is that these are designed by me, they are tested, and they give you the best possible shape straight out of the template. I think that's probably the best way of describing it. And we've got lots and lots of different projects. So I'm just going to check over. I'm a little bit thin on the ground just there, so I'm going to pop that in and just let those fibres extend out over the project. And I'm still using that 40 spiral, and I'm still doing very, very light stabs here. I'm just piercing the surface of that mat. I'm not driving in. And if you were to drive, you would take a lot of fibres and embed them into your mat, and you'd end up with a fluffy bottom. And we don't want that. So all over, I'm just checking. I've still got this little bit, so I'll just chop that into there. For this base layer, we're going to make some frosting to go up here, but for this base layer, it's this bit that I want to make sure has a really good covering. Now that's all in. You probably wouldn't lift the template at this point, but I just want to show you. You can see that it's lightly held. There are those few fibres, which you will always get. The more this firms up, the less you will actually get stuffed out the bottom and stuck into your mat. But there, you can see it comes off really nice and easy. Back into the template. I'm just going to run around those edges and just bring this all back in again. Now I've pulled it all out. Like so. Now full speed, I'm going to use this multi-handle that I've got. Some templates, you know, it's fine to use these multi-needles. Others, like the daisy, for example, they're very, very small, so I don't recommend it. But this one's not too bad, so I will try. And again, really, really light stabs. I'm all for making it as easy as possible for myself, and that's way too much work. So I'm going to go all over with my multi-tool. I particularly like this one because all of the needles are in a straight line. And I've probably got 340 spirals in here. So I'm just going to go all over and really start compacting this down. That's starting to firm up quite nicely. And now what I'm going to do is just tickle it off my mat. And you can see the shape's starting to get there. Back into the template. Run around those edges again. And now I'm going to use, this is a multi-punch, and again this is for expediency. Oh, I've got a question, hold on. Yes?
Sue Wooding.
Yeah.
She's snapping her needles a lot. What is happening?
Okay. Sue's asked a question saying that she's snapping her needles a lot, and if I break a needle, generally what I find is if needle breakages happen, it's because you're doing that kind of action. I mean, this is very exaggerated. With needle felting, you always come out the same way that you go in. So you can go in at any angle, but you must always come back out the same way. The other tip that I would suggest is just use the tip of the needle rather than the whole thing. If you start with the tip, you get a lot of control, and a lot of the templates, you're doing something that's quite thin anyway, so you don't need to use the whole needle. That's without actually sort of sitting down with you. Obviously I don't know your technique, but always come out the way that you go in, and that way you're going to get minimal breakages. Sometimes I whack the side of my template with my needles. Breakages are going to happen, unfortunately, but that's sort of one way. It's just to sit down and make sure that you're coming out the way that you go in. So going over, and all I'm doing at the moment is just firming this up. I've not turned my template over. I've kept it all one side down, and the reason for that is if you look at this side, you can see these pitty marks where my needle's been going in and out. But if you look at this side, the side that's been facing the flat mat, it comes out a lot smoother. So all over. And we just refine it down. And at this point, you firm this up as much as you want. This bottom part is getting a bit more attention, a bit more firming up, because we're going to be adding more fibres to the top here. There we go. I think for speed, that will probably do it for now. So bit of a bumpy mess at the top at the moment, but because we're going to be adding some frosting, I don't want to firm this up too much. I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to bring back in my pocket scale. Now for the topping, I'm going to use 1.5 grams, and the 1.5 grams is, like I said, it's a guide. That's close enough. If you've got to add in a pinch more, or you feel that a pinch less works for you, then you do what you feel is right. The weights and measures are a guide. So I'm going to use our new frost coloured wool to make La Frosting. Now this is a slightly more intricate shape. The way that I like to do points is get a bit of the wool and fold back the ends of the fibres. If you look at it this way, let's get it on it. See how all of that is just stuck out that way? By folding it like so, we've got a nice round edge. So it gives us a really good starting point. So if I now put that up into that tip, you can see that all those fibres are naturally curving round. Again, 40 spiral, nice light stabs on the wall. We're not looking to attach it to our mat. And just start following round that edge and getting right up into that tip. Another pinch. So here on the side, I'm going to allow my fibres to overhang like that, so that when I run my needle around, it draws all those fibres into the edges. Just make sure I keep up into that top tip there. I'll do it on the other side. So at the moment I'm just pulling bits of this off, laying it down, and just getting all of these fibres into this template. So first sort of layer down, and then I'll add in some more over the top. There we go. A little bit more. That's a lot more actually. Let me turn this round a little bit. There we go. And the idea with this, again, we're just going to get a nice even covering throughout the whole template, but I'm not felting this down too hard at the moment, because by filling this template up, let me just lift that off. By filling this template up, this will sit over the other one, and you get that sort of more three-dimensional. And these little cupcakes, they do make excellent little fridge magnets. For those of you who don't know, we also make something called a Makery, and it will transform one of your creations into a fridge magnet. It also means attaching it to a card is a really good, you know, so you could put this on the front of a card, and then the person you're giving it to can take it off and use it as a fridge magnet. I think there is a Makery kicking about here somewhere, so I might ask Peter, who's sat behind me, and I can perhaps demo that if we've got enough time. So I'm just working all over, round, just keep going, and you really want this nice and poofy. Thanks, Pete. There we go. All the way round. And you can see it's all billowing out at the moment. We are going to refine it, but the poofier this is, the the better the sort of frosting contours that you can get. Am I wandering again? There we go. There. So I'm just going to start very lightly, and again I'm just touching my mat with the needle. Just start bringing that down in a little bit, and use this one to go all over it. Again, light as anything. We're just compacting a little bit. We're not, let's see how that's working. We're not trying to flatten this because we want to simulate that sort of frosting. There. I've still got this left, but I'm not going to put that in simply because I want to make sure that we run on time. Okay. So we've got, you can see, There. That's what it looks like at the moment. So it doesn't look like a great make right now, but this is where the magic happens. And I realised that I just took that out of the template, which is not, it's not going to help me. Let me just get that back in there a second. So round the edges, like so. Okay, then what we're going to do is overlay your frosting onto your cupcake. Now you can either do it this way, or you can pop your base back in the full. As I'm going to take this out again now, and then you can put this one over the top. Either or works. You know, there's no wrong way. You find whichever way works best for you. So can you see that? Let me turn this round. There we go. Now I'm using a little bit more of an aggressive action. I'm still with that 40 spiral. And if I'm honest, the 40 spiral is my go-to for pretty much everything. So I'm going to come round this side. Right back to the start. And you can see sort of that's the level of your frosting. And what I'm doing now is I'm just starting to attach it. So I am using more of the needle now, and that is a little bit of driving, very slowly, just catching those underneath fibres. Not these, but just these ones underneath, just to help hold it in place. Like that. And then I'm going to lift the whole thing by just tickling it off. Pop it back, and now all I'm going to do is just keep going round until it's really sort of adhered. To sculpt this bit, let's see, camera angle, there we go, really sort of putting in a couple of lumps so it looks like drippy frosting. And then to start getting those curves, look at your template and just see where there might be natural swirls. So I'm going to come very lightly just across there, like that. And you can see that it just marks out a little indentation. And at the moment, we just want to put in small indentations, and then I think another sort of swirl there, and you can see how we're starting to simulate those sort of contours and sculpting of frosting. Once you're happy, then give it a little bit of welly. And you'll sort of really start to put in those curves. As I mentioned before, on the YouTube channel, there are lots and lots of different tutorials that you can have a look at. You can see if you like the project, you know, and then pop over to the website. There's usually lots of different purchase options as well. You can buy template sets separately, you can buy the kit separately if you've already got the template set and you just want to make the project again, or you can buy them as a combo deal. There's lots and lots at the moment. So I'm just going to come back over for a minute and have a chat with you. Hi. So we've got, this is where we're at the moment. Our cupcake's looking cupcakey. Is that a word? I don't know. I get accused of making up words a lot. I don't think I do, but apparently I do. Right. So we have, I did mention earlier the Christmas in July event that we've got running. It's all over this month. So the Christmas products will stay until the end of the month. And on the 1st of, what's after July? August. On the 1st of August, all of the Christmas stuff will go. And let's see, what have we got? These are some of the returning projects that we've got for the Christmas in July special, which are projects that were made last year. So they're getting a cameo again. The Merry Mistletoe little quick kit is a great little make. It doesn't take very long at all. And you may see a big bunch of mistletoe on the fireplace behind me. That's using that template and those techniques. The tutorial for that is available over on the YouTube channel. The Christmas rose we've got front and center there. That's an absolutely gorgeous make. It's not a complicated make, and the tutorial is for customers only. You can get the tutorial for it when you purchase any part of the product. The what's the other one? The poinsettia there. That's another returning project. And then we've got the Fibre fun bags, and those are ace. There's a few of those left, and you get 200 grams of wool. There's 50 colours in there, and 500 grams, that would be huge. 50 grams of core wool. So those are the products that are returning from last year. We do have some new projects for this year. And again, there's lots of tutorials and things that we have. We've got the winter woolies, and I'm going to show you some actual makes with those momentarily. The Glacier Ombre pack is a blend that we've made specifically for this month. And then we've got the Douglas fern trees. And the green Douglas fern is available all year round, and the winter ombre and the white is available for the month of July only. So those are our sort of Christmassy stuff. There is an awful lot of other things, as you can see. We've got that doesn't work, does it? Oh my goodness, sunflowers, and there's all kinds of things that we've got going on the website. So do hop over and have a look. Okay, I will go back to the cupcake momentarily, but I am going to pop up a couple of makes using the winter woolies. So let's put them in the middle there. And aren't these awesome? So this is the jumper from the winter woolly set, and these were made, the decorations were made using the 35mm circle template, which is part of the skulls. Skulls set, no, I think it's the Skulls Jumbo, it might be. There's another one, and you can hear that they've got little jingle bells on them. And what about that? Have a look at that. A great little make for the trees, great for little craft fairs. I don't know why I'm wandering off that way. Right, there you go. That's a lovely little make. That's the mitten, and that's been made twice, a little bit of blanket stitch, and it just things like that, just really cute little projects that you can make quick as, and you know, hang them on your own tree, take them to your craft fairs, your Etsy shops, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And the last little one in the set is the bobble hat, and again you can see the supersized sheep, which is also a template, and he's got the hat and the mittens on as well. Something else that I've got coming in the next week or two is the tutorial for this little guy, and this is going to be coming on the YouTube channel, and it's just going to be a free make You can use your own supplies. I will obviously tell you the weights and measures and sizes and everything that I've used to make him, but we're going to do something a little bit freehand. So do subscribe to the YouTube channel. That penguin make will be coming in the next couple of weeks. And there's the mistletoe that I mentioned. That's from the Merry Mistletoe template, which is in the quick kit. Have I anything else? Okay, so we're going to hop back over and just finish off our cupcake, and then we will wrap things up. So we've done all of our contouring. I'm just going to firm that up a little bit more. A sort of little contouring. Now from here, it's all about personal preference, how you want to decorate your cupcake. You can glue little beads, little seed beads on to simulate. You could do this part a different colour. This one, which I put down over here, this one was very complicated to decorate, and I Sharpied it. So all of these tiny little dots are just a purple and a hot pink Sharpie, which I just used the teeny tiny little tip and just went all over. And in fact, actually, I'll just grab one of my Sharpies just for speed, and there, the lightest of dabs, because you don't want big sprinkles. Well, you might want big sprinkles, it's entirely up to you, but there we go. And this, I feel, is something that, you know, school holidays and what have you, you know, get the kids to make cupcakes, decorate them however they want. I did mention earlier about a Makery, and there is a video on my YouTube channel for this as well, because there are different orientations depending what you want, and I've made these holes big enough that you can felt into. And take that out. Just going to tidy up that edge just a little bit. And you put the Makery to your project, grab a pinch of wool, which I then fold in half. Let's see, let's get this a bit closer. And then straight up and down. Obviously you don't want to come out too far, otherwise you'll poke some brown out the back of your white. But you attach it there, bring that fibre over. The video that's on YouTube explains this a lot better. This is very quick and crude. So like that, and then you attach it around all 6 of these holes. You can glue it on, you can stitch it on. You know, there are lots of different ways of using the Makery, and then that to your fridge, and you've got, you know, a cupcake. I personally think that I probably would build this up a little bit more. It's a little thin on the bottom, but that thickness is absolutely fine for a cards topper as well. So that's some very, very quick little ways that you can decorate the cupcake. It was just a very quick make that I wanted to share with you guys to introduce some of you who haven't seen Mum's Makery before to the templates. A couple of very, very quick things that I do want to mention. Over in the Mum's Makery Facebook group, there is a giveaway going on at the moment, and it's running on from the Christmas in July event, where I launched a little bit of a challenge, which was to ask you guys if you would make a Christmas butterfly. Now you've got until the end of the month to do that, but if you I'm pretty sure that Pixie Haley, who is quite possibly in chat now, is about to have a fit. Because the premise of that Christmas butterfly giveaway is because she didn't like Christmas butterflies. So now I've asked everybody to make one. So if you want to join in that giveaway, you're going to get a surprise box. It's a random draw, every entry, one entry only. The requirements are that you must have made it and it must be a Christmas themed butterfly. I love you, Hayley. I'm gonna get it later. So if you want to join in that, do hop over to the Facebook group. Maybe somebody could post a link in the group. It's facebook.com/groups/mumsmakery. Over the course of this weekend, Fibre are also running, I believe, a raffle. I don't actually know how you enter it, but I do know that they are running it. Mums Makery have donated a prize, which is the Glacier Ombre Pack, which is 50 grams of wool. That's 5 different shades, which are nice and gradient, from white to pastel blue. And you can also choose the template set of your choice. So that's our raffle prize. I honestly don't know how you enter the raffle. You will probably have to ask on the Fibre East page, but there's lots of different prizes from lots of different companies who are taking part in the weekend. I'm going to round up with, have I forgotten anything else? Okay, we're not doing that. I gave him a list. I was like, make sure that I talk about this, and he's like, this. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. So, as I mentioned, we had a Christmas in July event, and at that event we were asked when we were going to hold the next one, and I have been taunting the Mums Makery Facebook group with the potential of that next event, and I am really pleased to announce that we will be having the Mums Makery Autumn Fair event on the 12th of September of this year. And for those of you who have never joined us with an event, it's bonkers. It's completely mad. There's flingo, and there's giveaways, and there's games, and there's 2 live makes. One make, you can just join in with your own supplies if you want. There is an event box. I will leave it there for now, but the 12th of September is going to be the Mums Makery Autumn Fair online event. That is just about it for me, or from me, for this hour. There are lots and lots of excellent traders and demos and all kinds of things still to come. Don't forget, at 4 p.m. today you've got Emily Cross Ceramics. That's absolutely amazing. And then the fun doesn't stop there. You've got all day tomorrow as well. From 10 a.m. you've got Botanical Yarns, 10:30 Castleview Yarns, 11 The Crafty Bird, 11:30 Sheepy Things. At 12 noon you've got Needle and oh, I almost said that wrong then, Needle and Thread. What an awesome name. 12:30 Sheepish Fibre Arts. 1 p.m. Felt and Dandy, love them. 3 p.m. you've got the Threshing Barn, and at 4 the Wensleydale Long Wool Sheep Shop. Oh, my teeth back in now. Oh, that almost went awry at the end there. Sheep shop. Say that 5 times real fast. So I hope that you have enjoyed the hour with us here at Mums Makery. And I am Pixie B-less today. Pixie B is usually the pixie in my ear who is prompting me and reminding me about things. And I've gone rogue today. I'm unsupervised. So thank you all once again for joining me today. I hope that you have had a fun bit of a time with me here in the Makery, and I wish you all a very crafty day.